As it so often is, it starts with a story of a tunnel system, and given the 1,000 plus German factories and research sites that moved underground during the war, that's not really a surprise. Then I find its production labeled as decisive for victory, Siegsentscheidend, the same designation V weapons and jet fighter programs also had. So of course we had to take a look at this. Interestingly, it's not far from Vienna, where Kammler had one of his offices, or Linz, where the Bergkristall tunnels were, or Quartz, where we started the day. And in Austria, there are quite a few special research sites located, a lot of them unknown still. We're going to a U-relocation outside Graz in Austria, a tunnel system that was constructed in order to build plane parts for Steyr Daimler Puch, of whom we've heard a lot before. Parts for planes and tanks were to be produced here. But also the University of Graz was involved before, during, and after. And this site have been attributed some very interesting research projects from a very different nature, and apparently several tunnels are now missing. This we have all heard before, so Tom and I decided it's time to go have a look for ourselves. This was a joint venture under the Jägerstab and organization Todt, and the SS provided labor coming from Mauthausen. Also, a lot of local companies were involved in the building of these tunnels, and the University of Graz, as I said, was involved in the testing of cements and rocks here. 395 prisoners arrived August 1944, along with 15 police officers and 71 Ukrainians for security. All of these numbers would eventually grow, and eventually 14-some hundred prisoners would work here. First, as the prisoners arrived, they would build the barracks. Some 20 were constructed for the laborers, security, administration, and so on. The camp construction cost 121,000 Reichsmarks. There was also 4 observation bunkers built, and a pump house that is still present, and some air raid shelters. The labor camp was some 2 kilometers from the tunnels, and an extreme amount of security measures were also in place to ensure the secrecy of this place. Contacts were not allowed with any of the locals. In fact, the locals had to sign that they would remain indoors with doors and windows closed when the prisoners were marched to and from the work site. Of course, Albert Speer had approved the project, and General Kammler was in overall charge, as he was with all the special underground relocation sites. And here was a lot of them. Austria was the location that initially was the safest from Allied bombing for the longest. Thus, a lot more special projects and important factories were located here. Several thousands of square meters of finished workspace was constructed here, and over 1,000 machine tools was moved in here and used by the end of the war. More tunnels, of course, were planned, and also the Graz University was further involved in other studies here, such as the Expenditure and Material Report in December 1944, whereafter the productivity grew by 35%. However, they also struck unforeseen geological difficulties as they struck unknown cavities. Also, tracks up to the tunnels were laid for a 12-horsepower locomotive, and in January sporadic Allied bombing began in the nearby town of Pekau, and other towns started creating traffic problems to and from. The entire construction cost 3 million Reichsmarks, much of what is still owed to local companies after the war. Now, given everything I just told you, it should be pretty straightforward, right? Now, of course not. There's a bigger reason why we're here. On the aerial photos, 9 tunnel entrances are seen. However, barely the ones 3 to 6 exists today. 3 of them were in use during the war's end, this we know. Yet, of course, all documentation was destroyed. But the remains rail linkage is known to exist, leading back to Linz and the Bergkristall tunnels, amongst other things. However, this in itself is not that strange if they produced tank engines and parts here, and the Me-262 factory was located inside the Bergkristall tunnels near Gusen. There was also a Tiger tank factory here. But the wartime involvement of the University of Graz was one thing that led to their post-war involvement of seismic equipment here, something that seems to pop up in a lot of post-war tunnel systems. But there's something else. It was, granted, just a rumor, but for now, let's go with it. The trials of anti-gravity, magnetic, and nuclear propulsion supposedly was done here. At least I thought that was interesting enough to go have a look and see exactly what these were. Also, universities moved their special research in underground. And now we're going to one of the tunnel systems where officially they made airplane engines. Steyr Daimler Buch. Yeah. But there's something else. They may also have made parts for the jet engines in here. And there's something else. The University of Graz had a research station here. And of course, when we look at universities, just like the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute, nuclear research comes to mind. So let's have a little look at what took place here. That is a cement wall. This looks like a giant bunker. This is not the traditional rock wall. Usually we just see, this is interesting. That looks pretty sealed up. I guess that's not the one. This is interesting. This is a completely different type of construction. This is all heavy cement, layered. It looks like a rock wall, but it's really not. There is a 100-meter long cement wall, almost 2.5 meters thick, but it doesn't cover the entrances, and there are no notes as to what its purpose was, nor plans of any kind.
Was the old outside wall.
Wow. So this was the perimeter wall? I've never seen a wall surrounding tunnel entrances. Oh. And this is thick enough to be protective. This is a couple of meters thick. That's interesting. All right. Come on, Gebirgsjäger. Well, he was. It's not a joke. What is this? Was this a vehicle shelter, or what was this?
Yes, this was to load.
This was the. Oh, this is where they loaded.
Yes.
What? Would the trains roll up here, or?
No, just
trucks.
Yes, trucks.
This is rock. This is not some.
No.
That's cement.
Also, yes. You see it, right?
That is cement. Yeah. It is. This is interesting, isn't it? Just like the other tunnel systems built into the rock wall, the rail station is not 300-400 meters away from us. This is it?
Next portal.
There was one here.
Oh, yes.
But this is destroyed. This was blown up. This entrance.
Blown up or doesn't rebuild. So see
But that hole up there is square though.
No, it's bigger. It's just too little.
Yeah, but it's square. It's not naturally round.
No, that's not.
And here you see the road leading backwards to the tunnels. So we walked right by this, and we didn't even see it was here. This is just, well, before you say this is a bunker, this is full of attachments on the walls.
Okay.
This is not for schutz. This is not a bunker for protection, because there's all these from Mount Technical in here. and it's very rudimentary, hammered together, but okay. So that's this thing then. Except the other entrance is bigger. Huh? We walked the wrong way. Only one of us is coming out of that tunnel alive, I'm telling you. You're not gonna make it. If I climb that hill like a billy goat, and this is where the tunnel is, so what you're telling me that what they teach you in the Austrian military about finding things suck.
This is the close one. There must be another one. There's hope.
Not for you.
Not for me yet.
No, no. We climbed that hilltop all the way up, and here are the 3 tunnels, parallel side by side. They're covered up, but here they are. Wow.
Right on. Next one.
Yeah.
This well didn't help.
Well, this doesn't look like it's been here very long. This is relatively, this could have been new.
Yes, I think so. It looks very neat.
Alright, next one. Yeah, bricked up too. I know, I see that. So this is closed up as well. And what is this? Now we're coming into stuff. It's another one of these technical light tunnels. Another sealed up huge tunnel entrance. What's this? Well, yeah, to the other side of the wall. Nowhere. There's just a hole in there. Very, very interesting. Nothing here was demolished, so I don't know why this wall is cracked. This entire small little open tunnel system, I really can't identify it. So if anybody's seen something like this before somewhere else, do send me a mail. Oh, the bricks are new.
Oh, this is all.
Yeah. There's a lot of crop in there.
Have attention. Stay.
Maybe just move up from here, but I don't care. Son of a bitch. God damn it. Yes. Oh, thank God. My level of pissed offness would have been staggering. Alright. So this is new, obviously.
Oh, this was the champion.
Yeah. Well, I found a mushroom factory. Please tell me we can get out of here. Well, this is the natural rock. Alright, we can get out of the mushrooms if we...
Can't see how happy I am.
Yeah, you may survive this day yet. Well, I'm glad we spent an hour looking for the wrong one. Well done. You have come to appreciate my sarcasm, right? I think you're looking at the wrong direction, my brother. Oh. That's where it is? Oh, good.
This is collapsed.
Collapse. Collapse? I don't do collapse. Collapse pissed me off.
Yeah, but there are other ones.
Oh, yeah. Alright. Okay. You know, it's funny. I've seen video from here before, but somebody was here, but they claimed they were in Jonastal. The video said Jonastal, but this is where it was because I recognize this.
It's the only tunnel that
I mean, I was wondering why there would be a mushroom farm at Jonastal when all the tunnels had been blown up and destroyed, okay? What is interesting is, look at the floor. You have the water runoff on the sides, not in the middle. Is that dead end?
That's the connection.
Ooh, I love it. Now we're cooking. All right. Okay, Steuer Daimler Buch was here before the mud. And the University of Graz were doing research here, and you've heard they continued doing that after the war. You know, Austria used to have a great military tradition, you know. Okay, I guess that's not funny, but...
I just was a driver.
Yeah, and Hitler was just a dispatch runner.
Maybe I have a second period.
All right, look at the floors.
Yes.
There were mini rails.
Yes.
All the indents for the mini rails there. So
Some of the disconnection ones.
I wonder when these were blocked off. And if they were blocked off,
Yes.
maybe the research that was done later was in there.
Yes. But there are connection tunnels with those
Just want to see here. Oh, okay. There's a hole up there for sure. Outstanding. All right. Yeah. So there's parallel mini rails here. This was actually pretty big. How big was this? How many square? What are we looking at?
6 tunnels from the street inside the mountain. And 3 connecting tunnels.
3 connecting tunnels. Yes. Okay. This is very large. And now we get to see some cement. This is walls built up similar to what I see in the tunnels in Jonasstad.
Also empty, some parts.
Now this photo was taken in 1959, where 8 tunnels are clearly seen. The first one is cut out of the photo. However, today it would seem that tunnels 7 and 8 are closed or missing, and even unknown. Something we're certainly going to start looking for. And certainly given the open terrain of 1959, unless it was really camouflaged in 1945, this site would be very easy to spot from the air. Today it is extremely overgrown and hidden from aerial view. Also, according to older research, some 30 natural cavities should have been breached during the build, and some of these are somewhat accounted for today. Also, the production space differs from what is noted, what we can calculate, from what we can actually see. Given that each tunnel is about 5 meters wide, including the cross-connecting tunnels times some 9 tunnels of somewhat varying length, we will end up with about 11,000 square meters of production floor. And there are indications that second floors were also planned here, just like in Ebensee. In any case, it is evident that there are 3 finished tunnels completed by the end of the war, 3 more we can see, several missing, and we know that 170-some thousand tons of rock materials will have been carried away from this site during excavation.
So glad we brought our helmets.
This is so good.
Yeah. But the rails ran all the way in here. The rails ran all the way up to the damn rock. Why would you run rail tracks?
This is the unfinished part.
Alright. And actually these rails look like they lay pretty deep. Alright. Alright. Downwards and sideways.
Let's start circling the connections.
Yeah. See what the radiation is, just for the hell of it. These are really deeply embedded. These rails look like they were put here to stay, which is usually they just lay down the metal beams, the cross beams, and then the rails on top. These are very deep. Let's see. Let's take a look. It's very interesting radiation in here. gonna go with a no on that. Huh.
So maybe there's another spot.
Oh.
So we can test.
It's just good to try to take readings. And you guys who are watching out there, just letting you know, because you write and ask me a lot about radiation. If I take readings all the time where I go, and if I don't say anything, it's because there's nothing to say. I think you should by now know that if something lights up on the Geiger counter, I will get a little excited and I'll tell you all about it. What the hell?
I have a fast look. Oh.
Now, this tunnel system is not that far from a populated area, but usually when we go exploring these, we don't actually run into other people. So we were a little surprised when somebody showed up with a flashlight down the other end. But a little later, we met up with them in the tunnels and shared and exchanged notes and found another entrance.
Didn't expect to see life, so there's another tunnel entrance, and then presumably another tunnel entrance. But I really want to go in here, to my right, somehow. To these 3 sealed off tunnels that are more complete in their construction. Quite big caverns. Right. Up and over. Muddy. Just a little muddy. Rock. Rock. These were very large tunnels. I really want to know what the finished tunnels look like. Although I guess I have an idea. Yeah, that's just me. This is wartime. This is a wartime construction. Yet the road ends here. It doesn't go into the next road. There's nothing more fun than when you explore these and then somebody else is exploring them as well. And all of a sudden you're like, who are you guys? And hi, who are you guys? And all right, we're all on the same team. We're exploring tunnels. It's all good. Not that they were doing anything wrong whatsoever. It's just fun. Like to meet strangers in the middle of the tunnels. Like,
It's more nicer to go.
I mean, why would anybody come in here anyway?
This is old.
The stand looks old. The light looks,
New.
yeah, but the stand does look old. No, I think that's newer. It doesn't have the heavy rings for. Well, it's not new.
Not heavy water barrel.
No heavy water barrel. Well, let's see. Right here. Why does my Geiger counter time out? You're supposed to just be on.
Another collapse.
Did they say there was something more tunnel entrances down there?
Yes, the last time he was here, it was years. Yeah, 2 or 3 exits. This is the right one. You have to go up the hill. On the other side, we can go across to the other side. Oops.
Well, you've been right before. Not very often, but.
Not very often, yes. But it's getting better.
Well, you earned breakfast, and let's see if you earned dinner.
That's the natural cave.
That's the natural cave, right?
Yes.
Ain't that just interesting? Wow, wow.
That's cool.
That is very interesting. Just a sign of how they wanted to build technology into existing tunnels.
These are actually some of the natural caverns they broke into when they built the tunnel system.
Alright. So outside and
Outside? Yes. I have gloves. I don't need it anymore.
well, mine is hanging here, but alright. Go on, don't bang your head up. Don't lift your head.
I have a helmet inside.
Alright.
Next option.
Alright. See if I can't do this. Some grace. Alright. And here, incidentally, I'm not seeing anything for the mini rails. I don't see any. Here I see rails. Maybe, but not really. Yeah, it's the finished tunnels we really wanted to see. Don't worry, I don't care anymore.
Yes, the cheese can go out.
This is what I mean. At this point in time, I just.
Why? Why? Well, it's always me that are falling down.
Because you're wearing the wrong footwear?
It's the third time.
Well, I can't say it's because you're old, because I'm older than you are.
I always stand up again.
Yeah, now back to cleaning boots again.
Next. Custom tunnels. You have to look.
I have water in the car. Can't take you anywhere.
Maybe we're driving back and then just where this was. connection there.
So you found a way.
Yes, of course.
Of course, he says. There you go, now we're cooking. Okay. Yes.
Welcome to the tunnels.
Yes.
Pay attention.
Huh? Yeah. There's always a hole in the ground. And that's the other side. Ain't that just special?
This way.
Okay. Here I can see stuff being built. This is clean and dry still today. It's safe. You could totally build in here. I know. Isn't there always a hole in the ground? And here the drainage is in the center, just like in Ebensee and cement and so many other tunnels. And it looks like there's a little tar on the outside. It actually does look at that, waterproofing on the outside of the rocks. That's interesting. All right. Oh yeah. Let's see how.
Not the best way.
Not the best way, no, I'm kidding. I got it. Yeah, it's interesting. Here the drains are right in the center, where it's supposed to be, really. What's interesting about this is it's built in brick.
Yes. And this. I'm sure that this is the end.
I would not be surprised if it's not, yeah.
There's more like the other where we came to.
Yeah. And here's all the hangers, fasteners for these could have been beams, but this is for cabling. That would have run over. There's a little bit of it left. Okay, with the hooks on the walls here. To fasten something. Cable hanging right in front of me here. This is deeper than the one in there. Stop. That's drainage again. So there's drainage on the sides as well. But yeah, this extends a little deeper in than the first tunnel. I'm not going to do the conspiratorial thing and say, well, you never know what's behind here. But obviously, this would not be a hard cover-up. Just wondering, this was so easy to build. If there's already existing cavities or caverns or mines in here, slab up a bunch of brick, build some arches, safe inside a mountain. It's quick, it's easy, it could be extended in sandstone. There's some 900 laborers that worked here at the war's end. So it's interesting. You have this, that you have some, 900 people, 600 to 900 people, slave laborers worked here.
And it's big.
And it's big, and it's done, and it's solid.
It's not sandstone.
And it's not sandstone?
No.
This is actual rock.
You see that roll rock?
That's right. So
This is the longest one.
this is almost bigger than Jonastal, and they built it with 600 or 900 people, and it's complete and it's done. And there's 3 more tunnels in here that are not done. So Jonastal that had 30,000 people, and they had a handful of incomplete tunnels that they want us to believe. It's not hard to understand why it's very hard to buy into that logic when you see just exactly how complete this was. What are all these holes in the wall?
For the second floor.
That's for the second floor.
So
Oh yeah, you'd put the beams over and then there'll be a floor above it. Okay, yeah, of course. But that's so simple. That's why you have, okay, cement on the bottom.
the flat one is the working hall.
Yeah,
And
offices on above. Just like in Evensee. Did you go down to the end here?
no.
Since we're here. Yeah, it just looked like there's a bit of runoff. All right, so yeah, it's easy.
I haven't looked at it. I'm not sure it's printed yet.
Is that red brick?
Yes.
That's the only red brick. Why is the red brick in there?
Want to see?
Yeah, this is. So what do we think we know about this place? We know they built at least radial engines for the Air Force, possibly jet engines or parts for jet engines.
Jet engines for Junkers.
For Junkers. Junker, okay. So what else?
And there was a lab
There was a lab here.
from the Technical University from Graz. researching on what they're doing.
Did we?
After the war, they do research on geologic things. They say.
Geological.
Yes.
After the war, the university that was here started doing geological research. I have heard that before. That sounds almost like under the castle in Riesa. All of a sudden, there was a seismic station. It's very strange that they all start doing the same thing afterwards. So what is the rumor of what they were doing?
The rumor goes from installing some parts of radiation things and also the atomic jet engines for plane.
Really? So they were already talking about atomic jets. And I saw drawings, but this is where they actually might have done the research. Okay. This is really high. This is high up, way high up.
Yes,
Can you do a beam?
of course.
Give me. I don't know if it's very hard to tell on the camera when it's, but still, you guys get an idea that this is a very serious place.
This is just a bigger one.
This is just so impressive because it is so clean and it's just ready to work. And you can throw in the top floor, if it wasn't there already, with very little. You can do wood beams or steel beams, and it wouldn't be a problem at all. It wouldn't take any time.
Full functional. You see, you have pipes inside, behind the walls.
8.2, 18, but there's not much radiation. There's not really any. So the red bricks was used for the drains.
Yeah, it's like in EMC, the actual walls from the tunnels doesn't touch the.
Yes, that's right. This was built to not, this is not touching the stone either.
This was Todt's doing and creating. They shooting from the bottom to the top.
I'm guessing we have some bats going on in here too, because, well, actually, you know what? Maybe we don't. And
I think the bats prefer the natural stones.
yeah, well, I think and drains every 10-20 meters.
hard to get through the wall there.
Well, if they had to tunnel out. This is interesting because this tunnel could only have been a doorway. This was never a full exit, which would have been safer. But that also means that what was made in here may not have been made to be transported out. So it makes sense with research. Because if they manufactured something to bring it out of here, you know, you need bigger tunnel doors.
You have the big door.
You have one big door, but then you still have to transport it from here, parallel, through these,
Of course,
into the other tunnel, and then out.
a plane doesn't fit here.
No, I mean plain parts, you would put them on,
Just of course.
they'll be on carts, or they would be wheeled,
Jet.
or they would, because you know, I don't see any rails in the ceiling for,
There was one.
okay, this is modern, never mind. That's right, yeah. So there would have been,
You see?
looks like wood though.
There's holes in the
All the hooks here, but you know what, these hooks, if you're gonna have what does an airplane engine weigh? 500-600 kilos? Maybe maybe a ton? To hang over these in stone? It may be a little, I don't know, more research, and maybe I should give the University of Graz a call and find out exactly if they have any.
What's that? I think I found the alien.
Haha. Well, here's your dead bat. Okay, so well, that sort of makes sense. You had people working in here, and they had all their lockers here. These are the lockers, and they'll be standing here at the entrance, or they'll stand right here, so people would come in.
You thought we finished this? And then we come out. Okay.
Well, if we had a ladder to get up from the other side, we would pull the ladder through. Here's another one.
But this is new. I know this is
Yeah.
This is all new.
But here's nothing in the ceiling. Where's the pipes? There's a pipe outside that ran.
And you see the angles of the old portal door. There was a big, heavy iron door. Here, you see?
Yeah. But you know, outside, it didn't look like this doesn't look like this was made to protect against any kind of bombing, because anything that would blow right here would blow straight down the hallway.
Yes.
Did anybody of the Allies know about this place?
I don't know.
I would almost imagine not, because it's hard to bomb something in a.
But the areas Graz and Wiener Neustadt are very late bombed.
They were or they weren't?
They were late. As the Allies arrive in Italy,
Yeah.
then they are able to bomb you.
And they bombed Vienna. Platform. Yep. That's interesting. So the head does have hooks. That's also interesting. I know. Part of it seems to be laying on the ground here.
There's another tunnel to the outside for the air
Yeah.
circulation.
Remember how I told you everywhere I go, I find styrofoam? There's styrofoam. I'm just saying.
There you have platforms, maybe for generators or something.
Usually you'd have the generators in the separate room, but yeah. It's funny, every university, hospital, or anything I've ever wrote where something, research took place or something during the war, they never replied. None of them has ever replied. Even the IG Farben have a museum, sort of something. They don't reply either.
Where the big box came. Not from here.
This is an interesting tunnel system. All right, now we have an appointment with a man with a bunch of guns. That was quite. Is this metal? Metal. Complete brace. Okay, maybe a little close for the light. All right. Okay. Here you see the roof over the mushroom farm. Just to give you an idea how big this thing is.
This is also interesting. One in the front, stones here. There's one, there's another.
What do you got? Brownstones?
Doesn't make
There's
any
a
sense.
few of them, but not really, no. Either this would be broken or it would be square.
Yeah.
And it's not like they're a little too big to be part of a cement. No idea on that one. Okay. I could see the floors here is finished enough for factory space. but some of these tunnels were done. And if for nothing else, there was a plant here that built something for the Air Force, either radial engines or potentially, it's been rumored, jet engines. And it's sort of interesting because there's so much more that was done in Austria than you would think. There's always been, the mainstream belief is there's a handful of underground factories that made rockets and jet engines, and that was it, too little too late. There was a lot of industries underground that built parts for the rockets, for the jet planes, the fighters, and for the research. And it's the research that is interesting. Because too much of it is still not really clear. And it's strange why it's not clear. So the tunnel system is down there, where we just came out, and here's another entrance that is closed off. With a padlock, but so this is parallel. We weren't in this one. And it's locked several ways. Padlock. Which means that somebody is possibly working here or rented it, or, I mean, it's pretty open. Oh, this looks like a collapsed tunnel entrance. So we have 3, 4, 5. Let's see if we're not going to have one more. And it's interesting, where we were searching down the mountain, and we thought the original entrance there was cement pillars, loading bays and things that indicated it stretched all the way down there. But as of today, I don't see any connecting. But since it's all built up in brick, it wouldn't be hard. Yeah, I see it. And then there was one more. This, so what is this, 7? 6. But this is unfinished, and there's wall, door. All right.
By the end of the war, 1,800 machines, tools, and 3,000 skilled workers were operating in these tunnel systems, which is a significant amount. Different sources cite crankshaft production, engine production for tanks, jet aircraft, but like I said, there's a lot of questions to this narrative. There is also a strong connection between the University of Graz and the one in Prague, based on their pre-war work in aerodynamics and metaphysics.
Son of a bitch. There's a lot of climbing. Trying the ventilation shaft. Well, if nothing else, I am persistent. Alright. Again, standing on a mountain full of tunnels I can't get into. One of them destroyed. This could have been the roof of one, but it's all collapsed. All the natural rock remains. This one they covered up with a nice big pile of timber. And, well, it does look like it could have been an old platform. Usually when they would blow up tunnels, if you look at a LiDAR image, there's a hole in whatever it was, and this sort of looks like a hole, but it is not the drone we're looking for, so we keep going. First tunnel entrance is up on this massive bunker through which a river flows. And these things are completely and utterly dry. And the funny thing, remember what I said, every time there's something World War II that may be a little questionable that we need to know more about, it is always in a natural area that is protected. Ain't that special? So this is all the mountain runoff coming through here. The tunnels are right above and they're bone dry. Not a drop of water in there. Totally safe for any kind of electronics or electrical work, even today. And you have one of the protective walls.
The British was scheduled to blow up these tunnels in 1947. However, the locals petitioned them not, citing that they could use these tunnels for non-military usage and that the community had suffered during the construction of these. The University of Graz moved into a few of them, and the remains were used for storage of various kinds, and the military also did use some for ammunition storage. Austria contains a lot of hidden World War II history and historical sites. Far too many of them are still hidden underground and not properly researched, and even the existence of some are still denied by the various authorities. Some have been actively covered up or filled with cement even. This is clearly a part of Austrian history they do not wish to remember here. However, this is not good enough, nor respectful to the victims or those who fought and died here for their various countries. So it is time, I think, to take a look at what they are hiding here, especially when those sites bear General Kammler's signature.
I know what they hide me.
Are you enjoying your Saturday though?
Yes, perfect, perfect.
Good.
Behind me is Vanna von Braun's first test stand. Down the road is Dietmar's nuclear reactor. Over there is the Maginot Line and all its amazing forts. I'm visiting them all and I'm bringing them to you. So I really appreciate you like, follow, and share what I'm doing, trying to document all these important historical locations. And if you feel like you want to watch more pictures or documents that I use for these, go to lostbattlefields.com. And if you feel like helping me out with my travels, because gasoline and travel and airfare is expensive, my PayPal is there, protectionserviceint.com. You are more than welcome, but you don't have to. I appreciate all your support and all your help, and I love seeing these locations, and I love bringing them to you.